This might be the wildest take I've ever heard.
If I hear of someone whose fashion that I like and I know that they're a person of color, I try to make it a point. But the clothes have to be available. Right. You know, I think we can all do some work to think about that balance in our wardrobes. You know, what does our closet look like and who's in it? Mm-hmm. Who are we supporting in it?
Right.
You know, and I think if you have the money to buy Chanel, then you have the money to buy everybody.
Right.
And so let us be mindful, I think would be my advice.
Yeah.
Hey y'all, so I've been seeing the discourse that's been floating around on Threads and other sites where people are like, TLC is MAGA, right? And then there's some that are confused thinking we're talking about TLC, the Learning Channel. And no, it's TLC, the group. And this stems from this post right here that Chilli from TLC reposted, where it states that Michelle Obama registered to vote as a man. So spewing that propaganda that we know this rhetoric that Michelle Obama and Chilli reposted this, and it was up on her page as of just a few weeks ago. Okay, so this was there and she meant for it to be there. Y'all are shocked that she's MAGA. I'm not, because her whole page is Bible verses, Christian nationalist rhetoric, colorism. What's next? And then you have the one stating, well, it's not T-Boz, it's just Chilli. Okay, I don't know what T-Boz's situation is, but I will say this. We are consistently telling women that are married to MAGA people or that are in relationship and family with MAGA people, if you are still fraternizing with MAGA, you're complicit. So we can't sit up here now, Black folks, and be like, well, not T-Boz, because we want to hold certain people close to us, because if she's still doing music.
Yes, this lady is getting cancer. On social media, I don't know if you've seen this. TMZ posted this video. TLC claims she accidentally shared a negative post about former First Lady Michelle Obama on social media, and that any political donation she made were meant to help veterans. This might actually not be the reason. When you take a look at another post, TLC singer apologizes for accidentally sharing a post claiming Michelle Obama is I have the utmost respect and admiration for Michelle Obama, and I will never say or do anything that is disrespectful to her. They are now digging up all tweets and videos about her, how she is MAGA. I don't know why people always like to act this way. Being MAGA now is a big crime to people, right?
Hey guys, I wanted to come on here to address a few things that's circulating on the internet that's very concerning to me. Let me say this first. I have the utmost respect and admiration for Michelle Obama, and I would never say or do anything that is disrespectful to her or to any woman. I would never do that. And I had no clue that this repost had happened until I started getting phone calls and text messages from everybody, and I immediately went to my page to see what was going on. Now, mind you, I'm not very computer savvy, so I'm looking for this repost button, and I see that all of these buttons are very, very close to each other. And clearly I was scrolling and my thumb hit the repost button. Again, I had no clue that something like this happened until I got all the calls. But of course, I took that down, and, you know, I would never post anything like that. I would never do something like that. That is not my character. I have supported the Obamas. I gave to the campaign, both runs, voted twice for him, and supported the organization that Michelle had in the schools for exercise for the kids. I would never do anything that's harmful or hateful to anybody. You know, I'm just not wired like that. That's just not who I am. And when it comes to organizations that I have donated to, these are the things that support the veterans. You know, I have always supported them, not just now, but for years. This is not something new. So I just wanted to let you guys know, this from me, that I would never do anything so disrespectful, and I would just never, I'm just not about hate or anything like that. If you look on my page and see my posts, it's all about love, faith, and connection. That's what I'm all about, and I've always been that way, and I will continue to be just that way. So I just want to thank you guys for, your love and your support, and just taking the time to listen to me right now. I really, really appreciate that. And I love you guys. Thank you so much.
So, Chilli from TLC is a MAGA supporter, and I've been asked to give my thoughts. So here goes. In 2017, she said all lives matter. She got dragged, and then she walked it back. Then we find out she's following Don Jr., Tommy Lahren, Terrence Williams, and Newsmax. No progressive sites at all. Then she reposts some debunkery about Michelle Obama from an account that pushes flat earth.
What a time to be alive. I don't know why some people always believe that they are too perfect. If you look at social media, the kind of videos they are putting out about this lady, you can clearly see that some people are insane. If you talk about we have freedom of speech, they are at the same time always struggling to cancel people based on their opinion, then I don't know. She came out like this was a mistake. Everybody does that, right? There are sometimes you might just be scrolling through social media, you don't even realize you click something. And she acknowledged that that was a fault and apologized, but people are not buying that. Some are going further to say, oh, she did this, she's MAGA. There is nothing she can convince people to believe that she's not MAGA. Then, going into the context, MAGA, I don't know, do they actually understand that? Because if you understand, you will not see that as a big problem. Imagine calling more than half of the country banned because they say they're a MAGA. I don't understand. Sometimes forget about your politics. Be reasonable enough to see people differently. Yeah. If you go back in time, you realize there were people that used to support Democrat. Today, they are not. They are supporting the Republican Party. Not because of Trump, but because their policies align with them. Simple as that. There are people in the Republican Party that might not align with certain things Trump is doing, but they are Republicans. In that case, you say, no, you are MAGA. You're a bad person. MAGA is not bad. Yeah. If you look at the polls, majority of, in fact, 100% of that base is in support of what President Trump is doing. So this issue struggling to stereotype people like, I think I'm going to end here. I want to appreciate people supporting, sharing all the videos. God bless you abundantly. As of the short clips at the end, that is for the white algorithm. You can always skip.
The Oscars So White campaign, someone must wear a ribbon that says, "We won."
Out on the buffet, they're just hard.
What is this, my 600-pound?
Yeah, and you're right. Every day is something new.
That Trump laid in the State of the Union address.
To get here. Trump! Go Trump! Hey, Murphy, you're scumbag. Thanks, man.
Our chamber is chanting USA. Philip.
He utilized almost like these game show type moments where you're seeing awards being presented.
Just so and did not shake her hand there.
Here's the video. He shook everyone's hand. Everyone. Here's the Chief Justice. All of them got their hands shaken. To the point where they had to come back on the air and say this and stop 33.
But we should point out as he walks in, he's pretty close to the justices again as he comes.
Other than illegal on either of those two, I think they took his bait.
Can take away from the joyous moment as all Americans. And why are they putting a medal?
Oh, he's already under scrutiny for 1,000 reasons. Carol Patel posted this on X.
job.
I get suspicious when any
person's home. It's very easy to.
This is for the people in the United States who are terrorized and scared today.
The country's in such emotional turmoil.
And Republicans on both sides, you're
So amazing. And wasn't it so great?
When it can be hard to hope.
Hey, girl.
Does this change how you feel about TLC? Will you still buy those tickets?